Hello and welcome to this weather update. It's about 8:30 on July 27th, 2019, and we're going to take a look at the weather today across the area. And yeah, it was another smoky sunset again. Maybe a little less smoke than yesterday. I don't know. Felt the air felt a little lighter today. Let's take a look at the current conditions. 74 degrees outside right now, with the dew point is 65 at Farmingdale. So we only reached 80, was it 80 degrees today? So wasn't all that hot today. And that was because we had a pretty strong sea breeze throughout the day. Of course, the humidity levels were higher, but the temperatures were lower, and I think the sea breeze helped to dissipate the smoke a little bit. So the smoke didn't feel as bad today. Let's go and look at islip. 75, dew point 65. And let's see what islip hit. Only 80 degrees as well. Dew points in the mid 60s as well. And I'm assuming as we head our way further east, it'll be the same story. 72 at Gabreski Airport. The dew point 62, and it only hit 78 there. So definitely a more comfortable day today, even if the sky was still kind of hazy and clouded up a little bit. It was a lot better than it was, at least with the temperature, and the sea breeze I think helped a little, at least maybe keep the smoke down at lower levels. Let's see at Central Park, 78. A little warmer there, a lot warmer there actually. It hit 85. And I have a feeling Tom's River is going to be even hotter than that. So let's check Tom's River out and see what it hit in Tom's River. And we are at 77 in Tom's River, more humid, 68. Let's see what they hit the dew point. Almost 90 degrees in Tom's River. It hit 89 degrees. So there you go. Always hotter in Tom's River. And it was a lot more humid there too. Just it's like the south down there. It's crazy. Just that little difference in distance makes a big difference in the temperature. So let's take a look at the radar, because we actually have some showers actually out there. Believe it or not, there's this storm that looks like it's been sitting over central Connecticut. Look at this thing, right around Torrington and Hartford. This has been sitting here for the past hour. So I'm wondering if there's some flash flooding going on, though I don't see a flash flood warning issued, but this storm is just sitting there. It's not moving, and the storms that formed today pretty much were of that kind of variety, where they just kind of developed over one place, sat there, and then didn't move at all. So before we go to that, let's close that up. We're going to look at some of the temperatures right now on the Ventus sky, and you can see cooler on the island. Most of the heat's in Jersey. If we take it back to this afternoon, 2 o'clock, you can see, yeah, a lot hotter in Jersey than on Long Island. So I actually want to look at the radar, though, because we actually had a shower over in New York City that wound up developing, yeah, right here. If you look right over here, you will see there was this shower. Let me pull that out. It's a little too close. There was this shower over the Bronx, and actually there was some thunder and lightning with it. I was looking at the lightning, and there was quite a bit of lightning with it, too. So it was a pretty intense thunderstorm, but very localized over the Bronx. And then that kind of tried to move into the North Shore of Long Island, and then just kind of fell apart. So there really wasn't much to that. But this storm that's been up here in Connecticut, central Connecticut. Just pull this out a little bit here. This storm up here, we'll see when it formed. I think it formed around, yeah, right here. This cell has just been sitting here. It's just been sitting here, so it hasn't moved much, and you can see it actually is pretty strong, and I'm wondering if there's some lightning with that as well. So let me check the lightning detection, and we'll take a look at that and see if there is any lightning with it, if there is a good amount of lightning with that storm or not. Let's see. Yeah, there's been some lightning strikes. Not a lot, not as many as the one over here. If you were in the Bronx or southern Westchester around Yonkers, that storm hit you. But again, it just kind of faded away once it moved away from that area. So let's look at the one-to-ground here and see what we have as far as temperatures go. Mid-70s. I actually want to look at the dew points here. So dew points definitely rising. It felt a little muggy tonight, but a cool breeze, even though it was a cool, humid breeze. It was cool out. Like I said, we're mid-70s. Dew points, though, are in the upper 60s across our area. So now look at the satellite image and look at the smoke, which is still around. As you see, it's still around. I'll pause it right there. You can clearly see it right there. All that smoke over our area still. It's a very widespread. You look at it, it's very widespread. It's almost across the entire Northeast with this smoke that we've been dealing with here. Looking at the high-resolution satellite, I think you could possibly see it on this as well. You have to pick the right layer, though, so let's see. One of these layers probably shows it a little better. Yeah, this one does. You can sort of see it here. There's also a lot of clouds that formed. You can see also across our area. We had some clouds around, some smoke, some haze. I think it was a little better than yesterday. And then we have this here. Oh, yes, we have this activity here in the off the southeast coast we're going to have to talk about, too. Looks like something's trying to get together. Look at the smoke. You can actually see it's going all the way. Yeah, it's all going all the way into the south. And you can see, look at all these little cumulus clouds that pop up. This is all from the smoke. This smoke actually aids in the development of these kind of clouds, because you can see where the smoke isn't over here, like over South Carolina. There's much less of these popcorn-style cumulus. This happens because, again, the smoke adds condensation nuclei to the atmosphere, which helps in cloud formation. So I think that's why you're seeing more smoke in those areas. We'll look at some other parts of the country right now. There's actually, if we put this layer back, if we look at this layer here, you will see that there actually is a fire. It looks like it's somewhere around Grand Canyon National Park over here, and there was a fire around Flagstaff too. That was around this area, Humphreys Peak. There was a fire around here a couple of days ago. Let's see if we can see if this will show up on this or not. You can sort of see it. Yeah, there it is. There was a fire north of Flagstaff too, and they when they have fires out west in Flagstaff. This is a big downside to Flagstaff. It's not ponderosa pine forests are not as resilient as pitch pine forests. If there's a fire, they don't come back very quickly, and because of the landscape, when it rains, they have to worry about flooding because there's what you call a burn scar. So we don't have that issue in our area because, again, the forest grows back fairly quickly. We don't have mountains, and the soil is sandy, whereas here it's very rocky. It doesn't absorb the water well, so when it rains, it floods more easily than here on the East Coast, and especially on Long Island and in our Pine Barren. So we have a big fire over here. It looks like this is in Medford, right by Cradle Lake. This looks like another big fire here. So now we're starting to see more forest fires out west. It's just all over the place. There's forest fires, except around here, because of all the rain we've had. But even if we have the forest fires around here, like I said, the Pine Barrens are adapted to it more than these other forests are. So let's go look at the GFS here. Let's see what is coming our way for the next week or so. So you can see there is that system there. You can see that system right there. We're going to have to see if that's a named system or not, because I'm kind of curious. Let's see if we can, let's move this along here. Let's see if we can see it on here. You can see it's whatever is there is very disorganized. So it's nothing that organized. So let's go look at the GFS moving along as we go in through Sunday. You can see this weak high. Again, trying to build a little more. I think there'll be more sunshine tomorrow, less clouds. But then we have a weak front that tries to move through, and then we have another. Then we have a warm front. The ridge from hell builds back. We start getting some humidity. And then we have looks like another slow-moving cold front for the end of the week, trying to fight that ridge. And it looks like something is trying to form over here, and then possibly give us a close call. But again, that's very weak. Yeah, there's something wrong with this thing. Look, it says August 6th, but I have my slider over here. So I think it's the site on my computer. I'm not sure. But that ridge is a big issue, and again, we got to fight that ridge all the way just to get the cool air in here, which is the problem. Again, that ridge is it's because of the stubborn upper air pattern that we've been dealing with all summer long here. If we go ahead and look at the upper air pattern right now on the GFS, you will see what the issue is. So we'll first look at the jet streams. So you'll see here that you still have these wavy, diffuse jet streams. Look at that. That's really strange. See, this concerns me right here, because if something were to form, it could get pulled up the East Coast with this particular kind of pattern. Originally, there was supposed to be a deeper trough, but you can see the trough is shallow, so I don't know if we're going to get any relief like we were originally going to get. It looked like as toward the end of the period we were going to get some relief, but that's not the case, at least on the GFS. Let's look at the upper air pattern as well. So, move this along. So you can see just general ridge here, and then you have again this trough. It's orienting off to the west. It's not in the right spot to get this front through properly, and that's again always a big problem. That's the way the GFS sees it anyway. we will look at the upper air pattern on the Europe now, so the Euro model, and you can see the same kind of idea seems to be an agreement as we go toward the end of the period. Let's move this along here. You can see that ridge, and then there's that trough. But this, again, the Euro orients the trough differently. This is where they disagree toward the end of the period. Again, this would suggest more of a penetration of drier air into our area. So if we go and we change this back to the GFS and look at the dew points, you can see the GFS looks completely different. That trough is deeper. It's more to the west. We have this disagreement again. Where the trough splits up, and when you're on the right side of the trough, the winds, they have trouble pushing fronts through. So let's look at the dew points and show you what's going on. So you can see, yeah, that tells the story right there. But let me back this up to tomorrow. So you can see the high dew points in the east part of the country again. And then we get to see, dry air tries to get in, but this again is another stalled front type of situation. As we head toward the end of the week, where the dry air just can't make it in because this damn ridge, this ridge is like a permanent thing. It just doesn't go anywhere. And you can see some dry air trying to beat back the ridge on August 11th. And maybe it'll get in. Maybe. Of course, this is a ways away. Things can change. But the big issue is this damn ridge here. If we pull this out a little bit, you'll see. Let me pull this out to the North American here. North Atlantic. Yeah, we can look at the North Atlantic. That's even better. So here's the thing. So it's this ridge right here. You can see this damn ridge here. It just doesn't go anywhere. It just sits here. This ridge has been in the Atlantic. Like, look at it. It takes up the whole Atlantic. It's crazy. And if we look at the upper air pattern, you'll see what I'm talking about. So again, we'll look at the upper air. Look at the jet stream. Different settings on this particular one, but again, you can see not much of a jet stream here. Not much of a jet stream. So you get this huge ass ridge that just doesn't want to go anywhere. Again, the patterns are stuck because of what we're doing with the climate. Of course, when you don't have a strong enough jet stream to boot this high out, well, we'll have to see what happens. That's in the long range as we go into August. That's a ways away, and honestly, let's focus a little more on the near term. Let's look at the temperatures here on the GFS, and let me pull this back all the way back over here. Let me get this to today, or tomorrow, I should say. So here is what the GFS with the temperatures looks like tomorrow. And again, it's going to depend where you are. East End, South Shore, probably 80s, but along the North Shore, Long Island, could be 90. The city might be 90 or more. New Jersey will probably be over 90. Tom's River is probably going to the mid-90s tomorrow. It's the hottest spot, and it's going to be hot in Tom's River on Monday as well. Similar deal, maybe a couple degrees hotter on the North Shore and the New Jersey as well. So, what is going on? Did you see what is going on? Why is that moved over there now? I don't know what's going on with this site. Trying to use it as best I can. It's like if I take my mouse off, it'll. So here's Tuesday, similar deal. Wednesday, as we end the month, finally looks like a cool down. Maybe. Yeah, it did it again. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So it does cool off as we get toward the end of the week. So that might just be from a stall front in the area and plenty of clouds. That's the thing. And as we head, it will cool down. Looks like temperatures are lower as we head into August, but we'll have to see if we get into any of that clear air or not. So let's look at the dew points. So here are the dew points tomorrow, and again, it depends on where you are. I think we're going to see dew points in the 60s, but not oppressive levels of humidity. It will be humid, it will be sticky, but it won't be oppressive levels of humidity like what we saw last week. Monday, we start maybe seeing a little more of that. But you can see those isobars, the way they're oriented, the way the wind barbs are, that there should be a sea breeze keeping Long Island cool, but Jersey's going to blaze. Sorry, folks, in Tom's River, it's going to be hot for you. Dew points again, Tuesday, somewhat humid, but not severely humid. All right, let's go into Wednesday. You could see the humidity maybe on the rise a little bit more. And then Thursday, there's that front trying to come through. You could see just to our north, dew points in the 40s. Unfortunately, that air is going to struggle to get into our area because of this front that's hung up. Again, stall front syndrome. Best bet if you want to get into the better air, you go upstate. Let's move this along here. So Saturday, you can see the humidity returns. And humidity returns in force by Sunday. I'm not going to go any further than that. Well, I guess I'll go further than that just to give you an idea as we head into August. You see again the dry air is trying to get in, but the freaking ridge is putting up a fight. That ridge just doesn't want to go away. You know, what is it going to take to break that ridge down? That's the issue. That ridge has been with us all summer long. This seems to be the theme every summer, is that we have these long periods of stuck weather. That again is due to climate change because the patterns just get stuck and we don't have the jet stream to move it along. So now we'll look at the clouds and see how we're going to do with clouds. So on this, again, this doesn't show the smoke. So it'll probably be hazy skies again tomorrow. Maybe not. Maybe a miracle will happen and we can lose some of this smoke, but I'm not holding my breath. Here is Sunday, so you can see a mostly sunny sky, not many clouds, and then we have some more clouds. Chance of showers for Monday. Tuesday, some clouds around. Here comes that front. Wednesday, Thursday, and look at that, just gets stuck. So stall front syndrome again. Just to our north, it'll probably be really nice, but we could be dealing with stall front syndrome again with this. So we'll have to see what happens again, but you can see the problem that we are dealing with is that this front just doesn't want to go anywhere because we have the ridge that's just blocking everything up. You know, because again we have this jet stream that just doesn't work anymore because climate change is you know, weakened the jet stream and made it wavier, and these patterns just get stuck in place for, you know, a good 3-6 months, it seems. So who knows when that ridge will break down. It might not break down until October, you know. It sucks. It sucks. So let's look over to the NAM now and take a look at the NAM model, and we're going to look at the cloud coverage with the NAM. So I don't see too much cloud coverage tomorrow over Long Island, especially. More Monday and more Tuesday. So there is chances of showers tomorrow night. So that's where we're going to change this over to the precipitation and show you that chance. So you can see some thunderstorms developing to our north that might hold together. That might hit us like late tomorrow night, probably say after 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Then for Monday, it's dry, and then another line perhaps forms a little earlier on in the evening, probably around between 6 and 9 o'clock. You can see there's a line that forms north of Long Island, and we'll have to watch the potential. And there is that's this system right there that's forming. So in the last part of this video, I guess we'll go and look at the current storms. So we have Tropical Storm Eric. Again, this one is actually in the Caribbean. So this one is a minimal tropical storm, not very impressive right now, but we'll look at it on the satellite. You can see this is a way out in the ocean, but again, given the current pattern, it bears watching because again we have that damn ridge there that's going to steer anything right up the east coast. We don't have the front to kick it out. Here's 07W west. This is Invest 90E. It's a Pacific storm, so we're not even going to follow that. So I guess that wraps up this weather update. It's the same old song and dance with the pattern we're in. Unfortunately, that ridge just is a problem. It doesn't want to go anywhere, and you know, it's something that we need to figure out how to defeat in the future. I don't know. We're gonna have to look at weather modification. We're already changing the weather with what we're doing. Now we're gonna have to actually look at weather modification and seeing how we can do to get rid of that damn ridge. If it was up to me, that ridge would be. We'd put every resource into getting rid of that ridge off the East Coast because it brings nothing but misery for the East Coast, and it needs to go. That's the way I feel. Anyway, take care, and thank you for watching.